All right, welcome everyone to another episode of Traders Talk podcast. Today I have another unique guest with me, Eshan. Some of you guys might have already seen him on YouTube. I'm sure if a lot of you guys are on YouTube and you're watching these Forex videos, you might have seen him. I have, before I even started my YouTube channel, I used to watch your videos about like my Forex funds reviews and trying out different strategies. And one of the things I noticed was like at that time you weren't profitable and you were even sharing your struggle. And then recently I just, came across on YouTube a video of you where you passed the challenge and then you got your first payout. So like, that's a huge accomplishment. That means like, you basically never gave up. And so we just, I love that. I love when people don't give up and they're really, they stick it out and then they see the benefit of trading. Like it eventually does work. It just, and we'll go into that today. So we'll go into that with Eshan. So the first question I love asking is like, I don't know if you're working right now and trading part-time, but before like you even found out about trading, what were you doing? Like what was life like for you?
Just want to say thanks for having me on. I've watched your content on your channel and some good stuff, your payout videos and your reviews about prop firms. I graduated in 2020. I decided that I want to do some freelancing.
Okay.
For marketing companies.
Okay.
So right. I've been very entrepreneurial like that. So between 2020 and then around end of 2021, I was freelancing for marketing companies. Do you know an app called Fiverr?
Yeah, of course. I use it all the time. Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
so you were
yeah.
Fiverr?
So I was on there.
Okay.
I was on Fiverr.
Right.
So I was literally grinding it out. I was doing video editing.
Wow.
I was doing research for marketing companies. I was doing like personal assistant kind of stuff.
Right.
So I was very entrepreneurial like that. I can talk about when I started trading as well. So I started trading in 2019 of July. So it's actually been around 3 years now.
Okay.
Just ever since then, I've been really, learning my craft. In the beginning, as we all do, I was on YouTube, learning how to trade. And only recently, in April, I got my funded account. Yeah,
I saw that. Like through YouTube, I think it's funny. It's like through YouTube, I saw your journey. Like you were doing reviews and then you were talking about like, I'm trying a new strategy. So it's kind of like you kind of documented your journey of trading on YouTube because you started like I started YouTube really late. Like I started in the end. But that's crazy. So you started like 3 years ago, and at that time, I'm assuming since you were basically working from home, right? Like you were just on the computer, anyways. So when you actually did,
after graduating,
when you did, we can go to into the strategy part, right? For like when you started to the point you found your like how many courses did you take? Did you just spend your time on YouTube? Like how did you learn? Majority of it.
So in the beginning, I had this stupid perspective where I thought I could learn everything online, which you can. Mm-hmm. But I didn't really have a mentor. So I found it a bit more difficult to, have a fixed trade plan or know what's correct and what's wrong. So I was learning, Fibonacci retracements, moving averages, RSI, the Linger bands, you name it. I was like literally learning to trade so many strategies. And I think when I decided to actually join a community, it's called Guerrilla Trading.
Yes, I've heard of it.
Around a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
That's when things started to pick up and make more sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think that strategy that you joined? Because I'm a big believer in like I think the strategy has to fit your personality. Do you think the strategy clicked with you? Because I don't think guerrilla trading would have worked for everybody. Like, do you think it just worked? It worked well for you?
So this is an interesting topic to dive into. So with the guerrilla trading strategy, I don't know if you know, but you basically just check the charts at the top of the hour. So we trade only the 1 hour chart.
Okay.
Only the 1 hour.
Right.
So you're not looking at the 4 hour, 5 minute or anything. You just trade the 1 hour.
Okay.
Check the top of the charts. and there's two entries.
What do you mean by
there's
top of the chart?
A flag entry. So sorry, top of the charts means like, let's say it's 5:55 p.m.
Okay.
You check in the last 5 minutes.
Okay.
And then you
before
enter
the before the hourly candle closes. Is like what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. Yeah.
Okay.
So the entries are a flag or a retest, but the actual strategy is the way you read price. So like the wicks, the momentum, whether it's ascending nature, descending nature, the channel. So it's a way we read price is actually the strategy, and the flag and the flag and the retest, break and retest, is just form of entries. Okay. So yeah, you said, it's really important that the strategy fits the trader, right? Yeah, 100%. So the thing with this strategy that I've actually started thinking about is that, there's not a lot of trades that can happen. Right. Because you're trading the 1 hour and you're checking the top of the hour. Okay. So can you imagine there's not a lot of trades, right? Right. And there's also an aspect to it where you have to wake up early in the morning, like 2:55 a.m. to place a trade. Fuck? Why? because you're in Australia? When you backtest, or no? Sorry, I said is it maybe because you're in Australia or no, or like that's no? It's a worldwide thing because the way you backtest, we backtest all data. Okay. Like I backtested from 2018 to 2022, 4 years of solid data. Okay. But I've backtested for all the hours, not sessions. Okay. Obviously, you can do it differently. But the way the mentor does it is that he trades all the data so he can get into most of the trades. Right. So where there are pros, where you can check only the top of the hour, there are cons where you have to wake up, let's say at 2:55 a.m. Just to check. You can obviously predict, just to check. Oh, shit. Okay. All right. Yeah, it's crazy. I know. Obviously, you can predict and say, okay, it's like 10 p.m. Do I need to wake up at 2:55? Right. Then you choose to. So it's a problem that I started thinking about because if you miss that trade at 2:55 a.m., right, you have a bit of a problem. Okay. So something I started thinking about is that I want to keep the strategy, but I also want to learn something different else, as well. Okay. Like session trading. So like the London session. Right. So I've been looking into trading a different strategy in the London session. Okay. So just so I have two different strategies, two different systems. Because me and my personality, I do want to be a little bit more active, like something you did say. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. For sure. But so the strategy that you use now, does that mean you're just like every hour you're just checking the charts and then basically when you find a trade, that's when you take it? Yeah. Yeah. Damn, that's so I trade currently 3 pairs. Okay. What are the 3 pairs you trade? AU, EJ, and AJ. Okay, and when is it? Are you usually probably trading London session? I'm assuming, because you're in Australia, right? I'm literally trading every session, all sessions, every session technically. But where see, this is the thing, right? Like, you only need to check the top of the hour, which is the last 5 minutes of every hour, right? Right. So I have the freedom to go anywhere and I can trade from the chart, like from my phone. Okay, I literally can trade from my phone. Yeah. Right. But the problem with that is where you only have to check the top of the hour, you need to also wake up, let's say at 2:55 a.m. Shit. Yeah, that's kind of tough. So cool. Yeah. So from the time that you started watching those first YouTube videos to the point where like you would say, all right, you made your first withdrawal or you had your first profitable month. Yeah. Your first profitable month is usually is good. How long was that process? Because like one thing I keep telling people is like you can't put a timeline on it. Everybody's gonna be different. Like I know some people I know one guy who became profitable after 4 years and is like doing really good, has a $500,000 live account, all that good stuff, whatever. And for me, it took me like 1 year, about 8 months, almost 2 years, and it just varies so much. Like, do you think you have like a timeline in your head when you think it kind of at least got better, to the point where now you're making withdrawals and things? You mean like, did I have a timeline in my head when I should be,
No,
you know,
like how
making
long did it
profits
take
and
from when you started watching those YouTube videos to like, okay, I made my first withdrawal, or I think okay, I get the strategy, I can do it now. Boom.
right. Uh
Roughly.
I think the point in which I actually thought I could make this a thing,
Right.
I could make it, you know, my full-time thing, was when I started to, you know, I joined the community,
Okay, cool.
because then I could see
Right.
like-minded funded traders. I
Cool.
could see them doing it.
That's okay. Let's talk about the community
So
part. I didn't know a
yeah,
community was this important until I created my own. And I'm not just saying that because I have my own
yeah.
community. And I'll tell you the story behind it. And I don't want to talk too much because people want to hear you talk. So, but let me just tell people about the community aspect. And I wrote this yesterday on my Instagram, and I wrote it in Discord. Like last year, I was profitable pretty much the whole year. I got funded. I had $700,000 in funding. I got interviewed by FTMO. I made a bunch of money. I quit my job. I bought the car that I wanted. I helped my parents, but it was like I was still kind of fucking depressed at times because I was just me alone in this room, and I didn't like talk to any traders. Like I didn't really have any trader friends, and at that time I was going so hard with the trading, I just neglected all my real friends. So then when you actually become part of a community and you're not profitable yet, but then you see other people doing things like passing challenges, staying disciplined, getting funded, you're like, shit, like, why am I not doing this? So there's definitely a motivational factor, and it's just like I was just saying, like 2-3 weeks ago, I lost like $18,000 in like in one day, right? And it was just, it was actually fun. We were having so much fun in Discord when it happened. Like I would have been depressed for months maybe if I didn't have that community. And then I came back the week after and we smashed it, and I, you know, doubled what I lost. And again, that was fun. And so the community aspect definitely makes a difference. For the people that are watching, I think, you know, pick any community. It doesn't have to be, you know, like whatever, some YouTuber. Just find somebody that, you know, you can resonate with, and then run with that. So do you use any indicators in your trading, or is it all price action based trading?
No indicators. Like during the YouTube days, like learning from YouTube, I was using MACD, RSI, moving averages, all that. But when I started to, you know, I joined Gorilla. They trade purely price action, so I don't add any indicators at all.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Do you have any rules? So now how much funding do you have with my Forex funds now?
So I'm funded 100K.
Okay, that's good.
And I'm currently, so I told you about this before, and I also have it on my YouTube, but I'm taking a 200K and a 300K.
Holy
300K,
shit.
which is a bit aggressive.
That's a bit aggressive.
A bit aggressive, I know.
Yeah.
It's a bit aggressive, but I think I visualized that max allocation. Right. Maybe it could have been a bit of greed. But yeah, on the 200K account, I'm on phase 2. Yeah, I'm literally doing it now.
Cool. Damn. All right. Cool. Good luck, bro. That's good.
Yeah, I know. Thing is on the 300K one. Sorry. On the 300K, I'm phase 1, but I have like 9 days left, and I'm like 4% down. So
because you got to get it to break even. You got to get it to be.
Yeah, I know. That's something. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, exactly. I need to get it to break even. It's one of those things where, you know, when you purchase a challenge account,
right,
you have to already, in my head, the way I deal with it psychologically is to let that money go.
Basically 100%.
Because
it's gone.
Because these challenges are tough.
Very tough.
And when I say tough, it's because it's based off market conditions. It's not based off of you, actually.
100%.
Like the market,
it could just be a bad week.
The market can be,
or a bad 2 weeks.
Yeah. You as a trader could be following your plan. You're on it. You know, you've done everything to the T. Psychologically, all good.
Yeah.
But the market has just been really range bound.
Or it doesn't work with your strategy that week or that month or that. Like last year, I was just killing it, and then August hit, and boom, I lost all my funding, all of it, all together. And it was just because last August was just so bad I don't know what happened. It was just whatever. I think every good trader or anybody, even if you're doing this full time, you're making money every month, there's gonna be a 1 or 2 months during the year when you're just gonna get bodied, just wrecked, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
And one of the things that I like about the challenges I say is like, take the challenge you can afford to lose 5 times, just so it doesn't stress you out. Because I see people taking like a 200K challenge, and that's like all the money they have. They don't even have like rent for next month. When you take that challenge, you're already screwed because there's so much pressure on you. Like you're just, best thing anybody can do is just, if you want to take a challenge, try the 10K first, just to get a feel for it.
Yeah.
And then the best thing is to move forward. So did you like take your first payout and then kind of reinvest that money into those new challenges that you're doing?
So the first payout I got wasn't significant. It was maybe $900 from the pure profits, and then I got the refund from the accounts. So yeah, part of it did go into getting a new challenge, but also I do have like a emergency fund in place.
Right.
As a trader, I think that's really important.
Very important.
So yeah, very important. And then only recently I got my second payout, which was more better.
Yeah.
It was 3.85%. It was like 3K
that's the one you
or
did
so.
The video on.
Yeah, that was the second one. So, yeah.
Right. Cool. Yeah. One thing you just said, having an emergency fund for if anybody is funded, number one rule is like you better start keeping some of that money aside, because keeping these funded accounts is just as hard to it's just as hard to keep it as it is to pass it, if that makes sense. Because especially if you're risking 1%. So that's what I want to ask you. Do you risk 1% on the funded or no?
So no, I don't.
Good.
I risk only 0.6% on the funded account for 2 reasons. One, psychologically, you could technically have a bad month, like the markets, or even on yourself. You're human, right? Like psychologically, it could be tough. But 2, all these prop firms have like a max daily drawdown thing. Yeah. Like a 5% daily drawdown problem. So when you're risking 1%, and if you go up, let's say 5% profit, and then it carries on to the next day, and if it goes back down to break even or a bit below break even technically, then you've blown the account. Like you haven't blown the account, but you've violated the rules. So by risking 0.6%, I am reducing the risk of that happening.
Yeah. Also,
those are the 2 reasons.
Also, the other thing that I didn't know this in the start. It's crazy. Last year, I never thought about this, but I made a lot of money. It's just, I don't know, maybe I was doing really well. Like last July, like when I got interviewed by FTMO, I was risking 1%, scaling in with 1%. So I actually kept an FTMO account for 10 months. And I remember when I did the interview, like they were telling me, like you're one of the people that has kept it for the longest time. Like usually people don't keep it that long. But now, so this year, I just thought about it. Like if you risk 1%, that's really like risking 10%, because you only have $10,000 to lose. So 10 trades and it's gone. So as soon as you start going into 2-3% drawdown, you only have 7,000 left, 6,000 left, and then that just breaks you mentally. Like that's just gonna break you mentally. So the best thing you can do on a funded account is maybe like not risk more than 0.75%. Right. So you have that rule in place. Do you also have a rule in place? Like, okay, if I take a certain amount of loss per day or per week, do you discontinue trading for the day or the week?
Honestly, the way I'm wired, like my head is wired in a way that that factor doesn't really matter, because I've back tested so much data.
Okay.
That I know technically I could go in certain level of drawdown. So if I followed my plan to the T, and I'm in, let's say, 5% overall drawdown, I'm not going to stop trading. That would be going against my plan.
Yeah, but you would stop for the day,
follow my plan. Would I stop for the day if I'm 5% down?
You have to, don't you?
Oh, thing is, I've never been in that scenario just like because of the way I trade.
Yeah. I understand. Right.
Yeah, because of the way I trade, the likelihood of placing 5 trades is very minimal.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, but in a general sense, because I'm starting to learn a different strategy, that could happen, right? So I think I would be more cautious because psychologically that could get to your head
Right, for
if you're
sure.
taking 3 losses in a row.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you seen improvement in your psychology and emotions in this like last year during becoming sort of profitable and getting funded and things like do you feel like you're in a much more better like emotional trading space now? Like has it improved? Do you think it improves over time? Because I think it does.
Wow. Yeah. Like a shit ton for sure.
Yeah.
Like when I first started trading in 2019, I started with like a 200 pound account, right?
Right.
And I thought that in a couple of weeks I would make it and like I'm making profits and stuff. And literally, if I see a 10p drawdown, I would shit myself. I'd be
Yeah.
like, no, no, I can't lose this money. But I think the way I'm wired now
Yeah.
is that losses are part of the game.
Of course.
Like to be profitable,
Right.
you can't think, okay, I'm 100% win rate. No,
For sure.
winning doesn't equal profits.
Yeah.
Winners and losses equal profits.
Right.
Losing is part of the game. So if you have like a 30% win rate and you have like a 5-to-1 risk reward ratio,
Which is great.
you're good.
You're still good. Even 1 to 3
good.
and 50%, you're good. Or even actually 30% win rate with a 1 to 3, and you're still profitable. I believe that's the calculation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that should. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the calculation. That same with me, man. Like this. Another thing with community and trading full time and like like knowing what you're doing and being very good with your strategy. So now I've come to a point where like I've perfected my strategy. I know it in and out. I've taught other people it. So like it's weird. I went to a point where I've gotten to a point, knock on wood, to where like if I lose, like I lost that a huge sum of money. For me, that was a personal account. That was personal money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it affected me maybe that evening. Next day I was like, whatever, just chilled on the weekend. And then Monday I knew as long as I follow the system and do what I'm supposed to do and just stay like focused, I should be fine. And the next like the following week we smashed like over 20%. So I think it's like building that system and then perfecting that system, and it takes time. Like you may still be working on your system, right? But once you get to the point where you're like, this is how my strategy works, it's almost becomes like, if X happens you do Y, if Y happens you do X. Obviously every now and then you're gonna have a screw up. Do you think trading has changed you as a person? Because it's like so tough sometimes, like you have to make changes. Just I don't know, there's some life changes that I definitely made. Do you think it like affected you as a person? Like did it make you a better person or something? Weird question.
Yeah, man. That's a good question. It really, really did. Before trading, I'll be completely honest, I probably wasn't the most disciplined person,
Right.
or I didn't really have a purpose, I felt.
For sure. Yeah,
Like,
I feel you.
so as soon as I fell in love with trading and I really found my purpose, that I really wanted to just be profitable, share my journey, so people can relate to it,
Yeah.
I found myself waking up early in the morning to check the charts.
For sure.
I found myself writing affirmations. I found myself back testing. And then that also led to, okay, I should go to the gym consistently. I should do this consistently. So yeah, I definitely did see a change. And if you ask anyone that's close to me, they would be like, I'm a completely different
Damn.
person compared to 3 years ago.
100%
So, yeah.
with me, man. Like a lot. I had to bring a lot of changes, like reading books. I can't even list them, man. Huge changes. I'm up at like 5:30 and I don't need an alarm. My brain's like just firing off at 5:30. Maybe it's because I like what I do and all that stuff. But I think if you're a trader and you're struggling, look inside you to see what other changes can you make as a person, because I think you have to like level up almost as a person at the same time as you level up with your trading. Like you can't just be just a complete slack in everything else in life, but try to go hard in trading. It just usually doesn't work out. Like you have to fix those other areas in your life as well at the same time. That's pretty much what I found with other successful traders. Now before we wrap this up, is there like one piece of advice you would give to like, not everybody trades your strategy. People have different strategies. For a break-even trader or somebody who's like, been working on it for a while, but just can't seem to get to that, like, that push through that invisible wall of, profitability or somewhat break-even or push through break-even. Like, is there anything that anybody can do that you maybe did or experienced that you can share with us?
Probably two things I can think of. One, have a good mentor. Okay. I think having a mentor, someone even just better than you that's profitable,
right? They
will know something that maybe could help you in that specific strategy.
Right.
I think that's very key. As soon as I found a mentor, Joshua Bunker, and he was sharing his trade recaps, and I could see how he was thinking, what he was thinking.
Right.
That was kind of ingrained into my head, like forecasting, all that kind of stuff. Didn't really play a factor beforehand. And then the second thing that's less trading related is just keep grinding.
That's honestly the best one.
Just keep grinding because, before I started trading, I was not disciplined, all that kind of stuff. Do you know a game called FIFA?
Yeah, of course, yeah. You would just play that all day?
Yeah. So I used to play, I wouldn't say all day, but I was
a lot.
Proper good at FIFA. FIFA.
Okay.
And that's because I kept playing and I stuck with it.
Got better, yeah.
I just kept playing.
Yeah.
I was consistent with it. So I took that and I put that into my trading.
Yeah.
And I knew that if I just kept going, I'll get good at it. Because majority of people, as soon as you're consistent in something, you will get good at it eventually.
Yes, I agree 100%.
And even if you look at your bad habits,
yes,
they become habits because you've been consistent at it. We're really good at looking at the phone and looking at Instagram and chilling out because we're consistent at it.
Yes. And you're a testament because I think it was through, like, you could see it in your YouTube videos. I literally saw it happen on YouTube. You were like struggling, finding a new strategy. This is a review. Okay, I passed the challenge. Boom, done. That's pretty crazy about the consistency part. One last question I was gonna ask you, which brings up the consistency part. When you were going through that like time frame, which a lot of people do when you're not consistent, like you're not profitable, but you're trying every day, you're working, you're putting in all these hours, a lot of people give up because either they burn out emotionally or financially. Two of those things usually happen with people. It's happened with a lot of my friends. They're like, okay, screw this. Lost too much money or I'm too tired. Yeah. What kind of, was there a reason or a purpose that kept you going that didn't say like, you know what, like I'm done with this shit. I can't keep, was there something that pushed you forward through those times? Mine was I didn't want to go back to my job.
Sorry?
Mine was I never wanted to work for anybody else ever again. That was like my biggest motivation.
Yeah. I think, the main reason that I wanted to continue with trading and become a trader and have this kind of freedom is the three forms of freedom. It's time.
Right.
So, with trading, you can do it, at this time, like a London session, and then you're done for the rest of the day. In my strategy, in this case, I just had to check charts at the top of the hour.
Right.
But there's a drawdown. We have to wake up at 2:55. The second form of freedom is location.
Yes.
So, with trading, it's so beautiful. I have my cousin's wedding to attend to in a month's time.
Right.
I know I'm going to be all right. I can trade from there as long as I have good internet.
You're good to go. Yeah.
And then 3, it's the financial freedom.
Yes. For sure.
I want to be financially free. I want to be able to give back to my family, my fiance, everyone. I want to be able to live life to its full potential.
100%.
Majority of people, I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, but majority of people live probably 10% of what life could give you.
100%. 100%.
Yeah,
that's
man. So
that's where those are some good motivators. I like what you said. Time freedom is probably the most important thing, because you're never going to get your time back. You can always make more money, right? So time freedom was a big thing for me. Like, I really wanted to travel. Like, I love traveling, and like at my work, all I got was 2 weeks for the year. This one last year, I've traveled like 8 different countries, from South America, North America, to the Middle East, to Asia. Like, I've just been on a run this last year, and it's been crazy. It's been an amazing time. But Eshan, thank you for coming on the podcast. I'm going to leave your Instagram link down below if anybody wants to get in touch with you, or just follow your, and your YouTube. Actually, if you guys want to watch his videos, watch his payout video, you can see like literally his whole story on his YouTube channel. Anyways, thank you for coming on today, and we'll see you soon.